What's up? I'm Patrick and welcome to ISW Reacts. Today I'm reacting to REN Money Game Part 1. This is something by REN that has multiple parts again, and you suggested that I should check it out. And because I'm loving my REN journey, I'm really excited to start with Part 1 today. And I would say there's not much to talk about before, so let's just jump into it.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theories, strive fearing weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole war burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way.
Nice.
And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop. Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth, that's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech.
Wow.
But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome, and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right, in the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
This old money game.
maybe. Damn. That was a really cool song with a great video and awesome lyrics. Where do I start? Maybe you can tell me something about the video. It was great for catching a vibe, really cinematic in a one-take video, really cool. Maybe you can let me know a little about the symbolism that is meant in this video. The music itself was fairly simple, deliberately. I think to put more focus on the lyrics. Yeah, but really vibey. I love the chorus, like a little soulful. Of course, once again, Ren is showing how talented he is, what he can do with his voice, like this soulful chorus, but sang in two different ways. One time with a higher and grittier voice, and then the second time like deeper and yeah, a little more laid back. And his different styles of rap are really awesome too. At some parts, it's even more like some kind of spoken word, I would say. And then there's this straightforward rap, and then some double time parts. So it's really nice to listen to because it has so many variations. His cadence shifts from a calmer narration style to this rising intensity. There are a lot of pauses to emphasize lyrics, and he delivers every line with so much impact and raw urgency, which mirrors the seriousness of the issue and how important this topic is for him. And then there are the lyrics. And these are really, really cool, I think. He calls out political power, systemic greed, and hypocrisy. He talks about the dehumanizing effect of money, but in a self-reflective way, encouraging listeners to take accountability themselves. He addresses xenophobia, colonization history, and hypocrisy in freedom of hate speech, revealing how fear is weaponized through the cultural politics. And all of these are important topics that get you thinking, and that's completely true criticism. I think I'd like to read the lyrics again and maybe think and talk about it a little more, if you want to bear with me. So he starts with talking about hierarchy, parties, and greed in politics. So a little about political parties preserving class hierarchy and how the current system maintains power structures and feeds into inequality, and that corporate greed influences the politic through lobbyists, for example. Then he goes on talking about eerie theories and dictatorship, which I read as propaganda spread through mass media, which distracts from this systemic exploitation that's happening. Then he gets to the part which I meant before, with this dehumanizing effect of money, as that was once maybe thought as a neutral tool that should make things easier and fair. Capitalism led money to have this dehumanizing transformation in which even saints, as he calls it, are getting influenced in a bad way. Now, the second half of the chorus I find really interesting. It's the part where he talks about we like to blame each other, but we're all part of this money game. And that's true in a way. Not many people can clear themselves from that. One important part of it is, though, that the system is designed like that and wants people to blame each other. They are deliberately creating these concepts of enemies. They tell the middle class that the low income earners are the problem, tell them that the unemployed are the problem, and now they even tell the unemployed that the evil immigrant is the cause of all problems. That way, everybody is distracted from the people that really exploit the system and the society, which are the rich people with power. So yeah, in a way, we are all blaming while being a part of this game, but there are people that should be blamed and should be held accountable. But it has to be the right people and not some fight against somebody that should be on your side. What I mean is, yes, we're all stuck playing this game, but the people who profit from the rules and the people forced to survive by them are not the same. And that distinction matters, in my opinion. In the start of verse 2, he directly addresses the president because people with power deliberately create division through racism and xenophobia. And then there's this freedom of speech line, which I really love, because this is such a common excuse for straight up hate speech that really annoys me too. First, just because something is legally allowed, it doesn't make it morally acceptable or something that should be tolerated in the society. Criticizing hate speech isn't censorship, it's resistance, and legal rights don't erase social consequences. Also, they don't actually care about an open discourse about something. They just want to cover their racism, xenophobia, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, or any other kind of hatred. Then they'll probably say something stupid about, if everybody's so tolerant, why is nobody tolerating their hate speech? But if a society tolerates this intolerant ideologies, those ideologies will destroy the tolerant society after all. But that's just the tolerance paradox that you all probably know about. But it just makes me mad, sorry. Then there's this section about the hypocrisy of the colonization history, in which I agree in everything REN says. How happy would these people be if any disaster strikes the area where they live, the part of the earth where they were just randomly born by chance? They've done nothing themselves for that. How happy would these people be to get help and support when they need to flee, when they need to escape, when they need to emigrate? It's just so hypocritical that people in previously colonizing countries who benefited from centuries of global exploitation now demonize immigrants and refugees fleeing the instability those same systems helped create. I'm so sorry for all this yapping. I got a little carried away. And I think there are some points of what I just said that can be discussed. So let me know in the comments what you think about this song and my thoughts on it. I'd be really interested in your opinions, what you take from this song, in which points you agree or disagree. So thank you very much for joining me today, especially if you made it so far through my rants before. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.